Yo, what is going on, Cover One crew? Welcome back to the show. Hope everybody is good. I'm always good, man, because we're doing a little Mock Draft Monday. It is Mock Draft 2.0 on my board. Already did the 1.0 a while back. Now that we understand NFL free agency has leveled off a little bit, we can see where these teams sit and reside today. Before we get started, smash that like button for me, y'all. It helps me do bigger and better things for this channel, for this community, as we're going to, etch closer to the fantasy football season. Telling y'all, man, get these rookies in the know, but we got to have some fun before with this NFL draft. Let's talk a little Mock Draft 2.0 because it is awesome. With the way free agency has gone thus far, we've seen trades, we've seen big player signings, and I mean, we're not going to do any trades in this mock draft. Did the trades in the first one. I might go a little havoc before the NFL draft, but we're going to go with what we know today. And what we know today is the Chicago Bears have been doing a lot of maneuvering, trading away Justin Fields, trading for a Keenan Allen. Now it's likely going to be said they're going to go Caleb Williams, number 1 overall, and I think it's warranted at this point. Could we see them, shock the world, go with Jaden Daniels, Drake May? Probably highly unlikely at this point. While they traded Fields away, the door is definitely open for these Bears to go Caleb time. Excuse me, and I think that it is absolutely good. He's going to be the new face of the franchise, and I don't even think we really got to break that down much more. It is going to be Caleb Williams, Keenan Allen, DJ Moore, Cole Kmet. I mean, the offense are definitely building in a direction that they wanted to do, man. Number 2, the Washington Commanders, the Commies. Rumor has it the Patriots, they want Jaden Daniels quite badly, and they might have to trade down if Daniels doesn't land to them at number 3. So I'm going Daniels here with the number 2 pick with the Washington Commanders. And my only stance on this, they had Sam Howell, former UNC quarterback. I don't foresee them drafting Drake May, another UNC quarterback to replace what Sam Howell was. So we'll go with Jaden Daniels here for the Commies, which should be really pretty explosive, given the fact that they just signed Austin Eckler and they still got Scary Terry and Jahan Dotson. Would make a very nice offense. Drake May to the New England Patriots. Consolation prize. I don't foresee this. I don't see the Patriots slipping away from a top elite quarterback like a Drake May. He is my favorite quarterback in this draft class. No kidding about that. The ceiling, I mean, it's absolutely amazing what his ceiling could potentially be. A lot of y'all saying that, Drake isn't that dude because he misses some throws here and there. What he does do well, he does it very consistently. So the New England Patriots will definitely get, they're going to get a franchise passer. What else can you say, man? They need to restart this franchise, and they will not pass up on someone like a Drake May. The Arizona Cardinals, they land themselves Marvin Harrison Jr., and the Cardinals continue their rebuild after losing Hollywood to those Kansas City Chiefs in free agency. Marvin Harrison Jr. is an amazing consolation prize, and I mean, he's going to be a wide receiver 1, elite wide receiver 1 in this league for a very long time, barring any health issues. I like Marvin Harrison to the Cardinals in this mock. Number 5, the Los Angeles Chargers. I'm going to say Rome Odunze. I mean, okay, the Chargers traded away Keenan Allen to the Bears, released Mike Williams, so revamping this wide receiver core to give Herbie some more options is definitely high priority here in LA for Coach Harbaugh. Rome is a Keenan-like, elite ceiling type of wide receiver. Could they go neighbors here? Absolutely, but Rome seems to be the more well-rounded type of wide receiver that could fit into the scheme as they had it with Keenan Allen at this point. Rome Odunze makes a ton of sense. Could go neighbors, but I'm going to say Odunze here at number 5. Number 6, New York Giants go J.J. McCarthy, and I mean, the worst kept secret in the NFL right now is the Giants are done with Danny Pennies, Daniel Jones, and I mean, resetting the franchise with a J.J. is something that might actually shock some, but I think there's a lot of people that are already here saying that this is a high probability we could see a J.J. McCarthy go to the New York Giants as they reset and reestablish the quarterback position. Going to be very interesting, but the Giants with J.J. at number 6, do not hate it, but I mean, it's a risk. High risk, high reward, could definitely pay out for these New York Giants. Number 7, Tennessee Titans, Joe Alt, offensive tackle. And I mean, the Titans have been very strong this offseason, revamping their entire roster, signing guys like Calvin Ridley, takes, them basically out of the wide receiver market, you want to believe. So, I mean, adding O-line help to assist. The progression of Will Levis is definitely needed. They got Tony Pollard. They're helping their defensive secondary along as well. I do like what these Titans have been doing this offseason. Adding a guy like Joe Alt is going to be a very good piece to the puzzle. Number 8, Atlanta Falcons. I mean, okay, the Falcons pay huge money for Kirk Cousins in hopes to, make at least competitive division rivals here in the NFC South to potentially win the division, what do you need to do? You got to go Malik Neighbors, man. If he falls to you at number 8, it is a gift of tremendous proportion. Teaming up with guys with Drake London, Bijan Robinson, Kyle Pitts, gonna make this offense extremely explosive with somebody like a Kirk Cousins. Even though he's coming off the injury, we know what Kirk Cousins can do. And I think that, you know what, getting a Malik Neighbors to team up with the rest of these talented players, it is going to be a scoring fest for them. That would be absolutely killer for these Atlanta Falcons. Number 9, the Chicago Bears. Like I said, the Bears traded for Keenan Allen to help out DJ Moore and Cole Kmet roam free. So moving to the defensive side here at number 9, they can snag one of the best edge rushers in this draft in Dallas Turner. And I mean, it's basically like getting Caleb Williams on the defensive side when you're talking about a Turner. So I do like it quite a bit. I think that, you know, getting one of the best defensive players to help us sweat, to revamp this rebuild, revamp this retooling, however you want to call it in Chicago, Dallas Turner and Caleb Williams in the top 10 is an absolute gem score. Something like the Houston Texans did with a Will Anderson and C.J. Stroud. So get ready for the Bears to make some big noise in that respect. Number 10 might shock some of y'all New York Jets. I'm saying Xavier Worthy. Okay, the shock of the draft could come here, and the Jets, okay, while they could add some more defense, but I mean, jumping all in with Aaron Rodgers before his potential vice president run with Robert Kennedy, I mean, okay, there's one last kick at the can for Aaron Rodgers likely here. What are the Jets really lacking on their offense is game-changing speed at the receiver position, and Worthy is that dude. Like the Dolphins shocked the world going, a lot higher on someone like a Jalen Waddle time. Xavier Worthy fits the bill in this sense where they got a Garrett Wilson, and they got Mike Williams recently signed, so you just need that game breaking away speed at the receiver position, and Worthy gives you all of that and more at the receiver position. You got to love every ounce of it, so I got Worthy at number 10. Minnesota Vikings, okay, they need a quarterback like nobody's business, and Michael Penix might be a reach here at 11. They could maybe even trade down, but I'm going to say at number 11, Michael Penix Jr., and I mean, the Vikings can't go into this season with someone like Sam Darnold as their starting quarterback, can they? I mean, really? They got to swing for the fences here with Penix, who is a great QB and able to move an offense with heavy playmakers like we saw in Washington. While he can get rattled under pressure, I do understand that. And I mean, it seems like his injury history is somewhat behind him. You got to believe at this point, played the last 2 years relatively unscathed. So you do like Michael Penix here, playing with guys like Addison and JJ. I think that Penix would do extremely well, and the Vikings would have a potential franchise passer on their hands. So Michael Penix going to the Vikings. Number 12, Denver Broncos, Jared Verse. The Broncos have many needs. Quarterback is definitely one of them, and they could go that way here as well. Rebuilding this team can go in many ways. But, I mean, you can't go wrong with someone like Jared Verse, who's an absolute beast and one of my favorite edge presence here in this draft. Jared Verse is a baller. His comp to me is similarly to a former Bronco in DeMarcus Ware, so I think he's very good and would fit in with Sean Payton and his club for sure. Number 13, the Las Vegas Raiders are going to go Fashanu, offensive tackle, Penn State. Hopefully I didn't butcher his name. I'm trying, still getting these names right, but the Raiders, they're a team that could go QB Osel, but I mean, Mustache Minshew is more than capable. They signed on the free agent market, adding a more O-line help to help the QBs throw the football. They're going to have to open up lanes for lesser running back play because we know it is. Zamir Zeus White is my guy. I do like him a lot, but he's not Josh Jacobs. Let's be real. So, I mean, you got to have more time for your quarterback to throw the football to Adams and Mayers. So, I mean, definitely Fashanu is going to be a big help on this offensive line. Number 14, the New Orleans Saints. They could go many different ways here. They could go offensive lineman. They could go wide receiver here, but rumor has it they could trade Marshawn Lattimore for cost savings, in a cost savings move, I should say. So, I mean, getting Terrion Arnold would be a stroke of genius, would help aid in the potential future of this secondary. And even if they keep a Lattimore for one more season at least, they would have one of the better secondaries in the entire league with Arnold, with Lattimore, with still the Honey Badger there. So it is good stuff, and I think Terrion Arnold would do wonders with these New Orleans Saints to help them revamp that secondary, no question. Indianapolis Colts at number 15, Brock Bowers. What's missing on this team right now? Yes, they could go defensive back, could absolutely see that, but when Brock Bowers, a potential quote-unquote generational tight end, does land to you at number 15, Colts are building in the right manner, and I mean, we should get to finally see A-Rich on the field, Anthony Richardson, this coming season, adding a stud like Bowers. Give the Colts an amazing trio and Pittman, Downs, and Bowers to go along with JT. Sign me up, man. Anthony Richardson would absolutely love that. He'd be salivating at the opportunity to throw to all these guys, no question. Seattle Seahawks at number 16. I'm going Nate Wiggins. And again, they could go D-line here. They could maybe even keep beef in that offensive line, but the O-line played very well last year, so I'm not saying that's a drastic need for them at this point, but adding to the secondary is an absolute massive requirement. Devin Witherspoon, the Spoon, I mean, he's just an elite defensive back. You still got Tyreek Woolen, and I think that, you add the fastest defensive back in this draft class in Nate Wiggins. This could give you one of the fastest duo combos at the defensive back spot for Seattle that we have not seen in a God knows how long in the NFL. Wiggins and Spoon would be unreal, and I think it would be an absolute gem for them to rebuild their quote-unquote Legion of Boom. Jacksonville Jaguars at number 17. Kool-Aid. Hey, Kool-Aid McKinstry. Okay, they beefed up that defensive front with Armstead, got, all their players back. They also added, Gabe Davis to the wide receiver core. I think helping out the secondary is an absolute massive need here. You got all the weapons you require on the defensive front to rush the opposing quarterbacks. Put a guy like Kool-Aid on this defense, and he's going to pay dividends as well, especially when you play a guy like C.J. Stroud. You got to start beefing up that secondary. Kool-Aid is an instant fit for me in Jacksonville for number 17. Number 18, Cincinnati Bengals are going to go Mitchell, Toledo defensive back. Some are saying he is the best defensive back in this draft class. It's hard to argue. He is very good. There is no question about that. I do like his game a lot also. And I think the Bengals, they have their own issues. I mean, the rumor has it Burrow potentially has nerve damage in his thumb that may not heal properly. I mean, adding more talent to the secondary, though, is a massive priority. I think Mitchell he's going to be one of the instant guys to start, day one on this team. And, I mean, you got to continue down the path of helping out your secondary and your defense. I think Mitchell would be a good get for the Cincinnati Bengals. Number 19, the Los Angeles Rams are going to go Latham, offensive tackle from Alabama. Okay, and while the Rams, they hit in the later rounds these past several drafts because they had no first-round pick commodities, now it's time to revamp this offensive line. Protect old man Stafford, try to make another playoff run before he goes into retirement. Latham is a very good offensive tackle and much-needed help for this offense here in L.A. Number 20, Pittsburgh Steelers going to, continue down the path of offensive line. I think I had Bo Nix going to him in my first one. A lot has changed since mock draft 1.0. A lot of Pittsburgh fans were not happy with that pick. I hope you're happier with this one. You get Mims, offensive tackle from the Bulldogs. Okay, and the Steelers trade away Deontay Johnson to the Panthers. They traded for Justin Fields, signed Russ Wilson. Let's ride. I mean, okay, you revamped your quarterback room. Now it's time you could say wide receiver, picking here could be absolutely on point. But you got to protect this, quarterback room. You got to give more holes for Najee Harris. Mims is a monster. Also to get Najee back on track, it just makes too much sense. Time to rebuild this offensive line here in Pittsburgh without question. Miami Dolphins, Byron Murphy, Texas product. Okay, and Miami was perhaps one of the most decimated in the free agent market, losing high-end talent on both sides of the ball. Losing Christian Wilkins is going to be felt for more than one season. But, I mean, adding a guy like Byron Murphy should at least, ease some of the pain. Definitely not the same, stratosphere as a Wilkins, excuse me. So, I mean, but it is a very good fill-in. Byron Murphy is a dog. He's a beast, and he's going to make his presence felt in the NFL. So, Miami needs to assist in that defensive front, and I think Murphy over anybody else at this point is absolutely warranted for them as well. Number 22, Philadelphia Eagles continue down this. It's going to be a run on offensive linemen at this point. Okay, and the massive need we know is defensive back. They could go defensive back, but losing future Hall of Famer Jason Kelce, it leaves a big hole. Yes, Juergens is a good center, but drafting an animal and a beast in his own right in JPJ, this guy's an animal, man. He's like nothing you've ever seen at the center position. Power is the name of the game with lots of agility and running ability. This guy's a beast, man. Tush push might be even better with a JPJ than it was with Jason Kelce. Even though that's saying a lot, but I'm telling y'all, this would be an absolute stellar pick where the Eagles like to run the football a lot, especially with Jalen Hurts. And now with Saquon Barkley, JPJ would open up holes all over the field. There is no question. Houston Texans take in Fuaga, offensive tackle, Oregon State. And while I would prefer the Texans to be adding secondary here, but I mean, there's lots of talent. I think at this point, Fuaga would be a great piece to at least have a right tackle if he can move to that side. New running back in Joe Mixon, trying to protect C.J. Stroud. It's a massive benefit to keep building out this offensive line. They got playmakers at the wide receiver spot. Defense is improving, and it is relatively a deep defensive back class, so the Houston Texans could absolutely get themselves another one down the line, so I don't hate it whatsoever. Beef up the O-line. protect C.J. Stroud and open up holes for Joe Mixon would be great, man. There is no question. Dallas Cowboys, Fatu Anu, offensive tackle, Washington. I probably butchered his name. I am sorry, sir. For the people that say, here's the thing, the salary cap isn't real. The Dallas Cowboys have lost immense talent, and they haven't been active on the free agent market whatsoever, simply because they got no money, man. They're looking for cheaper options to retool this offense and this roster, and getting another offensive tackle from Washington would absolutely get them there on cheaper dollar rates. Green Bay Packers, number 25, they're going to snag themselves a little Latu, and this is going to be a big one. Okay, while most believe the Packers are likely going to go offensive line here because of the loss of Bakhtiari, I mean, they haven't had Bakhtiari for, full seasons in 2 of the last 3 years. So, I mean, landing a guy like Latu is a gift from above, man. Adding more pass rushing depth to this defense, absolutely needed in a division that is improving, especially the Lions. You got the Bears on the rise. You got to add more pass rushing talent. And if Latu does fall here at 25, it is a gem steal for these Green Bay Packers. Number 26, Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Cooper DeJean, I mean, however you want to say it. And we know the Buccaneers traded away Carlton Davis, leaving holes in the secondary. And I mean, tagging Winfield, giving Baker and Evans big money deals. Fixing the defensive back problem is going to be hard because you can't spend too much money. Cooper is one of these guys that could absolutely play anywhere on the field. They could drop him back into safety, play in the nickel. He is very good, very capable, and very intelligent. So I think Cooper DeJean is going to be, or DeJean is going to be one of these guys. I think a nice fit here in Tampa Bay. Number 27, Arizona Cardinals, Chop Robinson, Penn State defensive or edge rusher. I mean, the Cards get Marvin Harrison Jr. at number 4, and then they're going to add somebody like Chop here at 27. I mean, he's one of the most explosive pass rushers in this draft, and they need playmakers on both sides of the ball, as this roster does have ample amounts of holes. Chop Robinson is going to be one of these guys who will be took notice of from day one without question. Arizona continues the rebuild, gets 2 very good quality players here in this draft in round 1. Number 28, Buffalo Bills, my Bills, Bills Mafia. Okay, well, I had Xavier Worthy going first time. Now we got Adonai Mitchell going to the Bills, other Texas wide receiver, and I had Worthy, like I said, going to the Bills at mock draft 1.0. I think Worthy gets picked way earlier than the Bills pick at this point. Mitchell could slide just a little bit, but Mitchell has become a massive riser so far and could be a true wide receiver 1 in this league. He's got the speed, he's got the hands, he's got the catching ability, he's got the release, he's very good. And I mean, the potential departure of Diggs, everybody's saying this, when is Diggs going to leave? It's going to come eventually, so you got to replace him with a very suitable, talented player who likes skill sets, who can play the Diggs role in the coming years. I think Diggs on our roster for at least 1 or 2 more years, but you got to start thinking about the transition plan. And Mitchell would be an absolute gem in that regard. And if they do play him this year, Diggs and Mitchell, get ready for some fireworks because those two would absolutely eat up defenses, man. Detroit Lions taking Newton, defensive tackle from Illinois. And I mean, the Lions are a team, they're looking to remain on top of the NFC South, so adding, kneecap biters is of great assistance for them, man. Adding guys like DJ Reader, Marcus Davenport off the free agent market was absolutely huge to help Aiden Hutchinson get after the quarterback without seeing as many double teams. Keep adding to this defensive front. It will also help your secondary. You roll with Newton here to assist Hutchinson to get after the quarterback. He's going to see singles all day long. Newton, in some degree, is the best defensive lineman in this draft, at the defensive tackle, I should say. So get ready for that. If he falls all the way to 29, he should go a lot earlier. The way my board fell, I think Newton at 29, an absolute steal for these Detroit Lions. Number 30, the Baltimore Ravens, Brian Thomas Jr., LSU. Okay, and the Ravens, they've attempted how many times now bringing more wide receiver talent to help Lamar last season, and then this year they said, the hell with this, we're going back to ground and pound. They go and sign Derrick Henry, and they're going to run the football a lot this year with Zay Flowers already showing that he's that, shifty playmaker. Rashad Bateman just isn't that guy as everybody had thought. You go and you try to say, this is another time we're going to go after another rookie. Brian Thomas is that guy that could potentially be that wide receiver 1 you're looking for and coveting. Lots of speed, lots of size. You add him with speed of Zay Flowers, you got speed all over this field with a ground and pound like Derrick Henry. Nobody is going to be able to stack the box on these Ravens, and it is a very good pick for Brian Thomas at number 30 for these Ravens. Number 31, the 49ers, Tyler Guyton, offensive tackle, Oklahoma. Okay, and I mean, we're hearing what? They could ship out Brandon Ayuk out of town, I mean, via trade. I mean, I could also see them trying to, replace wide receiver here if that does happen. If they do trade an Ayuk with somebody like a Leggett, who does mirror a skill set of somebody like Debo. He's even maybe a little bit better in that sense. Potentially, I'm not going to say he's better than Debo yet today, but I mean, adding talent on the offensive line that did struggle at times. Purdy, I mean, keep him upright, keep CMC running. You get Guyton at this point. I mean, it's a very deep offensive tackle class as well, so you could definitely win here at number 31. Getting Guyton, he would be an absolute help on this offensive line. Last one, Kansas City Chiefs, 32. We go Ennis Rakestraw Jr., Missouri product. And what do we know, man? The Chiefs, they got themselves little Hollywood Brown on the roster to help recreate the Tyreek Hill effect here in Kansas City. So losing Snead is the biggest problem that he went to the Titans. Snead did, and it's a massive hole for these Chiefs. So, I mean, grabbing somebody like Rakestraw is going to be a big one because it's going to help ease the pain. Is he as good as Snead? We'll see. I mean, does he have a lot of skills, a lot of capabilities? 110%. This, I'm telling you, this DB class is very deep as well. Maybe not on the top end talent, but they're going to have a lot of NFLers that are going to make waves. So the Chiefs definitely replace a Snead in this sense. But there you have it. That is Mock Draft 2.0. And, I mean, it could get a lot worse from here if we move forward. So there you go. That is Mock Draft 2.0, like I'm saying. Hopefully, I got you guys your favorite team, the player you covet, especially at the position you guys require. But there's going to be a little bit more. I might do a couple more mock drafts before the NFL draft. Likely one more final just to see where we land. But it's always good fun, nevertheless. As always, don't forget to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, jump in those comments, give me your thoughts. You like my picks? You don't like my picks? Throw them in the comments. We can definitely talk it out. But we'll see you next time. I am out.